Welcome to today's episode of This Is My Car. My name is David Jacobson. Today's guest is Goel Molinari. In addition to being a technology entrepreneur, Goel is an avid car collector. What separates Goel from a lot of other collectors is that he has a taste for the unusual. He grew up in Italy where his dad had a Lancia Flaminia, and they actually worked on the car as well. He also purchased a 2003 996 GT3 before the world knew how cool they were. Now let's see what Goel drove here today. Hey Goel, how you doing?
Good. How are you, David?
Welcome, man. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, thank you so much. Thanks for coming here.
My pleasure.
I have so much to talk to you about. You know, one of the things I wanted to start with more than anything is we meet a lot of different guys that are different car collectors. And I guess coming from Italy, you know, growing up in Italy, it really is amazing how the differences in the country guide you towards a way of collecting and have a different appreciation for maybe cars that were never sold here in the States.
As I would say, Italian and German are my two loves. Right. Actually, my first sports car was a 996 GT3 that I got in 2003. And I had a big fight with my wife over that car because I couldn't afford it, but I told her that...
By the way, that's not unique to anybody, but go ahead.
I'm sure you've never heard that before. But I convinced her that if I got the GT3, my business would do well, it would motivate me, and over a few years that turned out to be the case. But that was my first love. The GT3.
So, and I said that at the introduction that you were pretty much ahead of the curve there, because the 996 GT3, the first GT3 that was produced, was a pretty cool car. Now it's coveted in the GT3 line in general, but what was it about that car that really, you know, was so passionate about?
I grew up reading Evo magazine from the UK, and 911s and particularly GT3 at that time. Late 90s, those really were the purest form of driving that at least I was reading about. And of course, at that time, GT3 was European only, but as soon as the news came that they were bringing it to the States, I knew I really had to have that car. And that, as you said, that was before they became popular. I was able to find one on the lot in speed yellow, and I daily drove it for 3 years and sold it after 3 years.
I wonder if the one we had here was your car. We had a GT3 in yellow we sold here with 10,000. How many miles?
Oh, I had 26,000 when I sold it.
You're a driver. You're a driver. That's one of the things I appreciate. We've driven a couple of times up in your neck in Connecticut, and it's you got some decent roads over there. So, and I appreciate, you know, we meet a lot of people. Once I said, but you're a driver. You're a driver.
Definitely like to drive.
Yeah, and you put some miles on it, and I think it's a perfect segue to talking about this. This is not a garage queen. Although it looks like one, it is spectacular and it is very special. You drive it. So,
I do.
Yeah. So tell us how did you come about this car? And I know there's some history here.
Yeah, so this car is formerly Eugenio Amos's, a friend of mine in Italy. He bought it in 2016. It was a one-owner red car, Classic A certified, but he had a vision for something different for himself.
Let me get this right here so everyone can hear this. This was a Classic certified, no stories.
No stories. A very, very well-known first owner in Italy. And but Eugenio had a different idea. He wanted his own vision of it. So he bought the car, and then he sent it for over 6 months of paint work and a little bit of interior work. And during that time, they took the original paint down to really the carbon Kevlar, fixed all the defects, which was something he wanted. So there is no weave in this car.
So so they had to skim the whole car.
Skim the whole car, fix the defects, and then painted this Verde Abetone, which is a Ferrari color, but not from the factory.
Oh, it is. And pronounce that name again?
Verde Abetone.
Verde Abetone, and that's the color, Ferrari color.
This is a Ferrari color.
And probably the heaviest F40 on the planet right now.
Yeah,
right?
lots of layers.
Lots of layers of paint. But you know what? You know, there's an incredible charm for the, you know, seeing through to the fiber in the original, but you're not going to get a paint job like this on any factory original. So it's incredible. And I could talk to you about this forever, but I want to do is I want to hear a little bit more about what made you seek this car. Like, was it, you know, how did you wind up with the car?
Well, actually, I've had, you know, F40 has been my one of my grail cars for many years, and I've tried to buy one over the years. It didn't work out for various reasons. And then just by chance, I was in Italy a few years ago and was with Eugenio as we were doing the Lancia Futurista, which is his new project. But at that time, he told me that he was thinking about selling the car, and it was just meant to be, I guess. I told him, I'll take the car off your hands, and it, it is definitely my favorite F40.
Is that right?
But that's how it came to be, just through a fortuitous circumstance.
So everyone knows is that Ferrari, did they make any F40s in any other color but red?
All red. Okay. I should take that back. I do believe there was a few for the Sultan of Brunei. One is sort of a grayish color.
Yes.
Special. So there may be a couple like that running
Very
around.
special one-off.
Very special
the factory did a special deal, to make it. I guess you have some pull in the factory when you're a prince or a king.
Exactly.
But here we are with one of these, and this car has not been in a closet either. You've driven it, people have seen it, it's been on Instagram, everyone knows you, Redshift.
75.
Let's take a look at what's happening back here. I know it's a stock motor, but there's still some everyone wants to see the power plant. Let's take a look.
All right.
And like the rest of this car, not very high tech.
Lightweight though.
Lightweight, yes, manual, visceral. Even putting the engine cover up is visceral on this car. It's an experience for sure. But here we go. So there's a lot of cars, Joel, that need hot rodding, because they're 20 years old, 30 years old. This is one car that didn't need any help.
Yeah, absolutely. This already from the factory, it's pretty crazy, lightweight, a lot of boost. And the only thing we did here was added a 2B Sport exhaust and some high flow cats to improve the sound and reduce some of that weight from the stock muffler. But other than that, this thing is, I think, perfect as is.
Yeah. And you know what it is that, for those of you that may know about the turbos, it mutes the engine sound. And this car is exceptionally quiet. I have one as well, and it has a stock exhaust. And unless you're on it, you really...
Very quiet.
It's very quiet. But I will tell you, the tube exhaust adds that little bit extra. 480
horsepower. Yeah.
480 horsepower, twin turbo. One of my favorite things in this car is when you get that wastegate spitting out the side of your left ear. It's what a great sound that is, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Now, people that know who I am not a turbo guy. I'm a naturally aspirated guy, because normally. But this.
Me
car,
too, actually.
Is that right? Isn't
Absolutely.
that but this works.
This is my only turbo car, I've been a naturally aspirated person forever, but in this case, it definitely suits the car, and it gives it its own character.
Yeah, isn't that wild?
And sound.
Yeah, it's just the whole package, the personality. It's very, very special. But and you know what? And it's tidy in here. Did you do any engine work, or did you have to do anything, or he kept it pretty?
The engine is stock. We just cleaned it up some. But
that's what I mean. Do you have to do anything to the car, the motor itself, as far as maintenance-wise, or you got
some maintenance? But just from not using it too much, we had to have some gaskets replaced. But that was it.
Yeah, they don't like to sit.
They don't like to sit. If you use them, they run well, but if you don't use them, you'll end up with a little bit of maintenance.
They get pissed off.
They do.
They want to let you know, come on, man, drive.
They don't like to sit still.
So yeah, and like I said, it's just a beautiful. This car has this incredible look with the some people would call it the explosion, when the hood and the bonnet and the front all open together. It just has an incredible dramatic look.
Transformer-like. It's very analog, and that's what I love, the rawness, the simplicity, and you can really see how the car was put together and how it works. Yep, and that's kind of the beauty of these older vehicles. Now
this is made out of a plexi, which is like a helicopter. It's the same material that would be used, I think, on a screen of a helicopter, right?
Yeah, I would guess it's a hard material, lightweight. And
can handle the heat.
It can handle the heat, and also somehow Eugenio managed to keep this one free of scratches. So often these panels will have a lot of scratches on them, but if you're able to sort of keep it clean, it looks very good, and it is.
It does, because you know what? When you look at this car, especially on a paint job like this, when you can see clearly into the engine, it really adds a nice touch to it. So fantastic. So let's go take a look inside now. I know there's some changes that were made there as well. So Joel, you know, in typical F40 fashion, even with some of the changes, very, very minimalist, simple. One of the things that people may not know about this car, the air conditioning, there's this 2 buttons right there. It's unbelievable.
It's super cold. It's very surprising, actually, how effective it is.
When I first put mine on, it was in the middle of the summer. I wanted to sit in the car and hang out. I mean, once you're in the seat, it's comfortable. Getting in is not so easy. But the air conditioning is very cold.
That works.
So I see a couple of changes here. I see the seats, and I know you did the headliner there. So tell us a little bit about what the thought behind it was.
Yeah, so there's 3 changes in the interior. The first is the Alcantara on the steering wheel, and it's slightly thicker. And the other 2 are the refinishing of the seats and the headliner in, again, Alcantara, inspired by Schedoni, who is the luggage manufacturer for Ferrari. And
For Ferrari? They did the luggage for, okay.
They do Ferrari luggage as well as a bunch of other supercar guys. And so Eugenio had it redone in this lighter color. And those were the only interior changes to sort of modernize it and make it look a little bit more in touch with this green over tan theme.
So now, are these seats as comfortable as they look?
For me, they're pretty comfortable. Depends if you're of the size or not.
Well, I do notice they go in. They're tight over here.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that feels when I take it out. But you know, you're very skinny, and it looks like that seat would fit you perfect. We'll see how I do. But the gloves, purposeful purchase?
Yeah, these gloves were from La Rusmiani, which is an Italian shop in Monte Napoleone. So I used to go there a lot when I was growing up, and
oh, nice.
They make really cool vintage inspired driving accessories and clothing. So that was part of the gift package with the car.
Oh, is that right? Very nice. And I'll tell you, the Alcantara steering wheel with all of this beautiful suede-like, beautiful, beautiful look. And it would be remiss not to mention the gated shifter here. You know, for those that have driven a Ferrari with a gated shifter, special experience like no other. And when you put it in this car, what a thrill, huh?
Yeah, the sound of the gated shifter as it clicks into the shift is totally unique, and obviously, yeah, it wouldn't be an old Ferrari without a gated shifter. Yeah, so you got to have that.
For sure. Now, another thing is the simplicity of this. We'll show photos. Is the door panels and the Kevlar. You know, it's a heavier carbon fiber they used back then, right? It's not quite as light as today's, no?
This is a sort of late 80s composite, so it's Kevlar and carbon fiber on top, but then. You know, what folks may not realize is there's a tubular chassis under the car. So it's not really a carbon tub car. It is a tubular chassis with the carbon on top, which they say adds a little bit of stiffness, but it's less structural than the more modern cars.
Yeah, I was going to say they weren't quite there yet when this car was out. Now, this is, for a lot of people that don't know, Enzo's final car, meaning that he, although the next car had his name on it, this particular car, or the 2 cars later, had his name on it. 2 of the Halo cars later, the Enzo. This is the last one that he really had input, because he had passed away. Right. I think 1987, right?
That's
he
right.
Died, and this car was well into its way to get produced.
Yeah.
Which makes it, you know, special to a lot of collectors and even the world in general. But now, final touch on the interior is this material. You know, what is this?
Yeah, so this is interesting. A lot of folks, it's wool, but a lot of folks think it's sort of junky wool. It's actually Loro Piana. So the textile manufacturer Loro Piana, it makes a lot of fine suits. This is their material. And so it is actually a good material, though it looks a little bit interesting. But just part of the period styling. And
now that I have a whole new appreciation for my dashboard now.
It's a good dashboard. You can make it into a suit if you decide.
Or at least a pair of gloves or something.
Or some small gloves. Yeah.
Yeah. Very nice. So let's keep moving forward here. So Joel, one of the first things I noticed here is that to compensate for the heavy paint, you took the tire out.
Exactly. I keep the tire at home.
You do?
Got to keep it balanced.
You got to keep it all balanced. So again, there's really not much going on, as again the simplicity of this car goes to the front here, but just all business here. What do you?
Yeah, really not much to see other than the paint color here, which is
Oh, there you go. Yep.
talked about verde a betone, and the battery. So you can see on the inside of the hood, we've got some of the material, the composite exposed. This is a Kevlar behind the carbon itself, but the rest here is just open space, lightweight, and coolers.
I think we have only one thing left to do here, and that's to drive.
The best.
Are we ready to do it?
Let's do it.
All right, man. Let's go. You know what? That's why. Who needs a radio? Who needs anything in this car? Listen to that symphony. You know,
Whooshes and poofs.
yes. You know what? We were talking about this earlier. We're both naturally aspirated guys, but there's so much sound going on in this car.
Character.
Yeah, there's a lot of character. It really is.
Personality.
This car really has its own personality, boy. And the way the turbos kick on, though, right? It's very, 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 it's almost violent.
Abrupt, and definitely not like anything they make these days.
No, no. And you want to know something? That's part of the beauty of it, because if you have turbos, but back in the day, you know they're coming, and you're looking for that.
Ready.
You're ready for it.
You gotta brace yourself.
Now it's like you don't even feel it. It can just.
Now they don't want you to know they're there.
Right. And it's almost why. I get it, you know what I mean? We don't want the power coming on like a storm all the time, especially if you're daily driving the car. But this is wonderful. Let's get a little bit of something.
Do it.
Oh yeah. Woo. You know what? This car does not have this reputation is for real. This reputation this car has is for real. It is an absolute incredible machine.
It doesn't disappoint.
What's that?
It does not disappoint. And once once you're in the boost zone.
Yes. Yes. This is exceptionally well running. This car is right there. I mean, this is your example here.
Yeah, great. It's a well-oiled machine right now.
Yeah, excellent. Man, why don't I drive mine more? What is wrong with me? Seriously, this is unbelievable. You know what it is? As we're into Porsches, I love my Porsches.
Yeah.
And every time I get into a Ferrari, I get it. I get why
got
it's
it.
so damn special.
I agree.
Right?
Porsches are they're driving machines, but the Ferraris have passion. Like,
say that for me in Italian. There's nothing like it. Say it. Come on.
queste Ferrari hanno passione, hanno vita, vogliono vivere.
There you go. Enough said. It's so true. It's just so damn special. Got a little bit of road here. You know what?
It's so light.
It's so light. You can actually feel it because it's not a small car.
Floating on the road.
Yep. It's not a small car, and it's surreal. It's almost like when you drive one of those big giant Bentleys, and it has that monster power. It's like a living room moving so fast. It has a surreal experience. This car is the opposite. It's so big, but yet it's so light.
It's light.
And you can feel it.
Yeah, it really glides on the road.
You must get a lot of looks in this car. And you know something? Unlike the regular F40, you get that little extra smile, like, what the hell is that? Because you don't see, this is a true, you won't see one again.
Yeah, it's a little nutty, but it's a smile maker.
Absolutely, that's fun though. Make people smile when you drive by. So just another great day, another great car. Well, I can't say that, just another great car. An absolutely spectacular automobile. I can't wait to see the shots of this car driving. There's a reason why these are so iconic. It's not just the looks of this beast, but the visceral driving experience is second to none. Even in today's standards, this thing is an absolute animal, but it also has you engaged. It's just an incredible car. And with this special paint job, this is a one-off and a very special car, and I could not be more thrilled to have driven it. There you have it, Joel.
Awesome.
So thank you so much. Thanks for your time and allowing me to drive this beautiful machine.
My pleasure. It was super fun to see you guys, and it was a beautiful day.
Yeah. And thanks for sharing so much. A great story with this car. I can't wait for everyone to see the real story, how this thing turned green. Thank you all for watching This Is My Car. My name is David Jacobson, and we'll catch you in the next episode. Thanks for watching. So thank you for watching. This is